Pam Bondi's run, when truth became a matter of life and death. Pam Bondi thought she was walking into a routine security briefing at Secret Service headquarters, but nothing could have prepared her for the explosive footage that would soon surface. Footage that threatened to bring down some of the most powerful figures in the country. Now, with every step she took, she knew she was being hunted. Pam had been inside these corridors countless times before. The building was a model of order and efficiency, its routine predictable as clockwork. But on this day, as she stepped past security, something was off. The usual rhythmic hum of the facility had been replaced by hurried steps, hushed voices, and furtive glances that spoke of hidden urgency. Even before she reached the main security checkpoint, a uniformed agent with an earpiece intercepted her, his voice low and urgent. "Miss Bondi, follow me." There was no time for questions. The way he said it left no room for negotiation, a command that triggered a subtle internal alarm within her. Pam's instincts, honed over years in the political arena, told her immediately that this was no ordinary briefing. At the checkpoint, the agent swiped her ID against a panel that unlocked a hidden corridor, a route far removed from the standard meeting rooms. Pam's heels clicked steadily against the polished floor as she followed him through a series of narrow hallways devoid of windows and standard offices. Instead, they led to a row of stark, unmarked steel doors guarded by advanced electronic keypads, demanding clearance levels far beyond what she usually encountered. Finally, they stopped before one such door, bare, without any insignia or nameplate, only a retinal scanner blinking ominously in the dim light. The agent's expression was unreadable as he said simply, "They're waiting for you inside." Without hesitation, Pam stepped through the doorway. Inside, the room was dimly lit and dominated by a massive screen that spanned an entire wall. 3 senior agents stood in formation before the screen, their faces set in stone-like expressions. One of them, Deputy Director Mark Ellis, recognized her immediately. He nodded curtly and, after closing the door behind them, said, "Miss Bondi, follow my lead." The screen flickered to life, displaying grainy black and white security footage time-stamped less than 48 hours ago. The camera showed a side entrance to a nondescript building in Washington, D.C., a building that had no place in any official directory. As Pam watched, her heart began to race. The footage revealed a sedan pulling up, its rear door opening to reveal a man whose every move exuded a cold, calculated precision. He glanced over his shoulder before slipping into the building, as if he were acutely aware that he was not supposed to be there. The camera then switched angles, capturing a dim corridor where he was met by another figure. No words were exchanged, only a silent nod before they disappeared behind a heavy metal door. Pam's stomach tightened as she absorbed every detail. This was no ordinary covert operation. The man in the footage was someone who had built his career on law and order, a name the public trusted implicitly. Yet here, in that secretive corridor, he was orchestrating something underhanded. Ellis's voice broke through her thoughts. The location is a secure, privately owned facility, not government property, and not listed anywhere in official records. Pam's mind raced as she asked, "Who owns it?" A sharp-eyed agent stepped forward. A shell company registered out of Delaware, traced back to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. The owners are completely anonymous. Her pulse quickened. So, this isn't just a scandal. It's a full-blown cover-up. Ellis nodded gravely. "We've been monitoring this for the last 6 months. He's been here 8 times, always at night, always switching cars, never with a security detail." The footage then revealed more. The metal door opened again to admit a group of 7 well-dressed men. Their confident, almost smug demeanor suggested they believed themselves untouchable. One of them turned just enough for the system to register a partial facial match. A file icon blinked in the corner of the screen, indicating that the man on the screen was not just any businessman, but someone the federal government was actively monitoring, a foreign national with known intelligence ties, the kind of person who wasn't supposed to be on U.S. soil without attracting national headlines. Pam's eyes narrowed as the feed switched to a digital log detailing the building's visitor records. Triple verified, the female agent confirmed, this is raw, untouched surveillance. Ellis fast-forwarded the footage, and the group of men was seen gathering around a long table, documents spread out before them. Occasionally, one would lean in to speak, but the audio remained mysteriously muted. Then, the camera caught a critical moment. An older, silver-haired man in an expensive suit placed a thick manila folder on the table. The camera angle shifted again as the politician reached for it. His face remained impassive, but his fingers tapped once on the folder, a gesture that, to Pam, screamed of concealed guilt. The meeting continued for another 10 minutes before all the documents were discreetly tucked away and the politician exited the building, vanishing as quietly as he had arrived. Ellis shut off the screen. "That's all we have for now," he said, his tone somber. Pam rubbed her temple. "What else do we know about the others in that room?" The female agent opened a file. 4 of them are U.S. citizens, all linked to private industries. Energy, pharmaceuticals, defense contracts, high-level players shrouded in secrecy. The remaining 3 are foreign nationals with deep financial ties to U.S. policy decisions. Pam's mind raced. "This isn't just a scandal," she murmured. "It's a high-stakes negotiation." Ellis's eyes darkened as he added, "No one in the White House even knows about this." A tense silence filled the room. Ellis leaned in, his voice low. "We have reason to believe someone in the administration is aware of this. And that, Pam, is what scares me the most." Pam's pulse quickened. "Are you telling me there's someone in our system who's been watching this unfold and hasn't said a word?" Ellis exchanged a glance with the female agent, whose name tag read K. Dawson. "We don't have confirmation yet," she replied softly. "Don't play games with me," Pam snapped. "If you suspect something, then you should have informed me sooner." Dawson cleared her throat. "We think this goes higher than initially assumed. High-ranking officials, secret meetings with foreign operatives, and executives tied to national security. This isn't just corruption, it's power brokering." Pam pointed at the screen. "Where was this meeting held?" Ellis hesitated. "A private estate in McLean, Virginia," Dawson said. "Owned by a real estate trust with a tangled financial trail, traced back to a firm flagged for laundering money through political PACs." Pam's eyes narrowed. "So, someone inside this system is laundering cash to keep these meetings hidden?" Ellis nodded. "Yes." Pam exhaled sharply. "This isn't just about a bad look for a politician. It's a full-scale cover-up." She turned to Dawson. "Has anyone reached out to you since you got this footage?" Dawson shook her head. "No direct contact, but we've noticed unusual activity." Dawson's fingers danced over the console, and a live digital log filled the screen with surveillance records, phone records, email metadata, even snippets of personal communications. Pam's breath caught when she saw her own name, home address, and email metadata meticulously logged. "They've been watching me," she whispered. Ellis's voice was grim. "Not just watching, they're anticipating. Whoever leaked this knew exactly where you'd be." Pam's heart pounded. "They want me involved." Ellis's tone was soft but determined. "It appears so. We suspect this leak isn't meant for public exposure. It's for leverage." Pam stared at the screen. Why would they risk exposing this unless they wanted the truth to break out? Ellis hesitated. "Maybe they believe you're the only one who can carry the message." Pam's mind churned. "So, what do you expect me to do with all this?" Ellis's jaw clenched. "We need to extract this evidence and expose the corruption at the highest levels. But if this goes public, it could topple careers, destabilize agencies." Pam interjected sharply, "or worse, endanger lives." At that moment, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number flashed on the screen. "Be careful who you trust." Pam's stomach dropped. "When did you get that?" she asked. 12 minutes ago," Ellis replied quietly. "Whoever sent this knew exactly where you'd be. They're not just watching. They're controlling the pieces on the board." Pam's grip on her phone tightened. "This isn't merely a bombshell story. It's a trap. Someone planned my involvement down to the minute I walked through that door." Her pulse raced. "The real question is, why me?" Ellis's face was unreadable. "Because you're the only one with the courage and credibility to expose this," he said softly. Determination hardened in Pam's eyes. "I can't walk away now," she declared. "If I do, these corrupt practices will continue unchecked." Suddenly, a live feed appeared on Dawson's console. Two black SUVs were idling outside, their tinted windows concealing any identity. "They're here," Dawson whispered. Ellis checked his device. "They're not here for a scheduled meeting. They're here for us." Pam's heart pounded. "Who are they?" she demanded. "Private security, the kind hired by people who don't want their names associated with this scandal," Ellis replied grimly. Pam's eyes narrowed. "So, they're not trying to kill me. They're here to control the narrative." Ellis nodded. Then, a loud buzzing sound shattered the tense silence. Ellis grabbed a device from his pocket and glanced at it. "We've been locked out of our system. Someone's overriding our security." Dawson's fingers flew over the keyboard, and soon a live feed from the building's entrance filled the screen. One SUV's door swung open briefly, revealing a man in a dark suit whose face was obscured, then closed again. Pam's breath caught. "We need to get out," she said urgently. Ellis quickly retrieved a flash drive. "Everything we have is on here. We must extract it before they reach us." With no time to spare, Pam's eyes scanned the hallway for an escape route. "There's a secondary stairwell leading to the parking garage," she instructed. "We need to slip out now." They raced down the stairs, the echo of their hurried steps reverberating through the concrete shaft. Outside, they found a dark, unmarked car. As they sped down the exit ramp, gunfire erupted. Bullets pinged off the car's metal body as armed men stormed the lot. In the chaos, Pam clutched the flash drive as if it were a lifeline. "Where do we go?" she gasped. "I know exactly where. We leave DC immediately," Ellis replied, his voice steely. In that high-speed chase through shadowed streets, Pam Bondi's resolve crystallized. She held the truth, the evidence that could expose a corruption network so deep it reached the very halls of government, in her trembling hands. Yet, the ultimate question loomed. Who could she trust in a world where power is bought, and the truth is the deadliest weapon? Hours later, safely ensconced in a nondescript safe house, Pam leaned back, exhaustion mingling with unyielding determination. Reviewing the flash drive's contents, emails, financial records, surveillance footage, she knew that the evidence in her hand was potent enough to bring down a hidden empire of corruption. But as she looked at her phone, another message flashed. The truth is in the hands of those who dare to speak. In that moment, Pam realized her life would never be the same. The secret was out, and the battle had just begun. With a final glance at the dim glow of her laptop screen, she whispered, "I'm not backing down," steeling herself for the storm ahead. Epilogue: The aftermath. Over the following days, the leak exploded into a national scandal. Headlines blared, judges' bias exposed, Caroline Levitt forces conflict of interest inquiry, and courtroom coup when the truth breaks free. Social media was alight with hashtags like hashtag Court of Truth and hashtag Exposing the System. Legal experts and ordinary citizens alike debated whether a single woman holding a sealed folder and a damning email could topple a judge's authority, and, by extension, the corrupt mechanisms within the system. At a local coffee shop near Victory Park, Caroline sat with Malcolm Reyes, sipping a takeout coffee. "Do you regret standing up?" he asked softly, stirring sugar into his mug. Caroline looked thoughtful for a moment before shaking her head. "If I'd kept quiet, I'd still be hidden in the shadows, hoping no one ever Googled me. Now I can look people in the eye, knowing I forced change." The Judicial Conduct Commission soon confirmed that Judge Ronald Pierce was placed on indefinite administrative leave pending a full ethics investigation into his ties with Merriman Holdings. While no charges had yet been filed, the scandal had irrevocably shifted the landscape. Caroline's defamation suit was now being taken seriously, with facts being weighed over personalities. In a series of subsequent interviews, Caroline maintained a measured tone. "I didn't come here to tear someone down," she said. I came here because our system deserves better. When those in power try to silence the truth, it's our duty to expose it. Her words resonated far beyond the courtroom, sparking debates in town halls, legal conferences, and on social media. As the days turned to weeks, insiders revealed that the leaked footage and documents were just the tip of a vast corruption network, one that stretched from private security operations to high-level political cover-ups. The scandal forced a bipartisan call for reform, and soon, emergency ethics hearings were convened on Capitol Hill. The public, once accustomed to silence, now demanded accountability. Pam Bondi's flash drive and the bravery it represented became symbols of a broader movement. In the ensuing months, new policies were proposed, aiming to ensure greater transparency in government and to prevent such abuses of power from occurring. And though Pam herself returned to her routine of early morning document reviews and strategy calls, she never forgot that one night. The night when a carefully timed signal and the quiet determination of a loyal dog forced the truth into the light. If this story moved you, share it and speak up, because sometimes the biggest shifts start with the quietest voice. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more stories that challenge the boundaries of power, expose hidden corruption, and remind us all that the truth will always find a way to break through. Subscribe for more stories that challenge the boundaries of law, ethics, and the courage to stand by the truth.